Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Today, we're going to, as a part of what we're doing, we're going to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay? Plus, the topic that we're going to be on for Life's Lessons is voting. Voting. I reached out to one of our local politicians, so we're going to throw some voting questions at her. And of course, because of her Hispanic heritage, she's right here to help me put this platter together, this plate together. And what we're going to be putting together, we're going to be putting together a dish called Pastelon.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Thank you, thank you. And Pastelon is we're going to be using some fresh cilantro, some fresh culantro, some red bell peppers, green bell peppers, some garlic, some dried oregano, Pimento-stuffed Spanish olives, kosher salt, dried adobo, sazon goya seasoning powder, tomato sauce, and very ripe plantains, and shredded mozzarellas, and some eggs. So we're going to get into what we're going to be doing, but let me introduce my guest first. My guest is Carmen Rodriguez. And like I said, she's a local politician. And because we want this message to go out to everybody, I'm not going to say where she's a local politician at, because she is a politician. And the message is the same, to vote. But she can give us some of that message on how to vote, or the importance of voting and stuff. Like one of the things that because I did some researching, so I have some notes over here to the side, and I said, it says voting for president is important, but voting for local is where the magic really happens.
Absolutely.
So take it from there, please, Carmen.
Well, the fact is that we know that when most of our issues, what we're concerned about, the roads, the schools, and so forth,
So tell our people.
they're all related to our local elected government. So for people to really be impactful, following your local government is probably the most important thing that you can do, because again, like I said, roads, schools, homes, everything
homes.
it is dependent upon the decisions made locally at your level. So all politics are important, yes, but it's your local politics that will have the greatest impact on you.
I'm sorry I stepped out, because I did have the. I'm sorry I stepped out. I had the fire on under the grease because I wanted it to be ready. So I turned it off so that it doesn't burn. And one of the first steps that we're going to do in our dish is we're going to put the cilantro. We're going to put some of these down into our mixer. I don't even know what the special name is on this, because as I say, I'm cooking for all of us. We're learning this together. And I told the Carmen that I explained to her that most of the time my dishes, I haven't done a dish yet that I've already done. So that my audience is cooking with me.
And you picked a dish that's not really Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican.
Hispanic. Listen, you told me it's Hispanic.
Absolutely.
You told me Hispanic. You told me the dish was
absolutely.
still Hispanic.
Absolutely.
Because everybody
delicious.
Everybody that's all Hispanics are not just Puerto Ricans.
Absolutely.
So we have an Hispanic dish, and so.
Do you know what unites us?
Huh?
You know what unites all Hispanics?
Tell me.
Language.
The language. The language is what unites all the Hispanics. But language unites everybody, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So now, actually, when I went and brought in search of my ingredients, I I found a cilantro, but
Cilantro. Very
cilantro,
good.
but
Love that you said it in Spanish.
but I needed Culantro too, also.
Culantro?
Yes,
Okay.
but they didn't have it. So I saying, I know I'm going to throw something in there to because I always say that we cook to taste, and so I picked up some spinach and some parsley. Now that is what I put inside of here.
And you know what? One of the most important things about cooking is knowing how to substitute.
I substituted.
Always. And you know what?
Substitute.
Let me tell you.
I'm listening.
I always tell everybody, cooking is an art, not a science.
And you know, but I know how intellectual you are.
Yeah, I know.
Because I know you was a science person.
Always have been.
Yeah,
Not with the cooking.
Huh?
Not with the cooking.
Not with the cooking. That's right. You did say you experiment. Well, that's science, ain't it?
Yes, it is science, but for me, it's always about the art because any herb, any seasoning, anything that you add that twists it, one extra grain, whatever, is going to change the flavor of it. So it's always a matter of art.
I'm sorry. I'm over here because I had my ringer on, waiting for you, and I don't want my phone to ring while we're talking. So, okay. So where we're at, we done put the cilantro, and again because they didn't have everything, they didn't have this is cilantro. They didn't have culantro. So I substituted that with spinach and some parsley. So I have that in there. Now, what I'm going to do is because the bell peppers and onions go in here.
Important.
Very important. And I told you guys that I'm supposed to be diced up, and I told you that sometimes I cheat and buy it already diced up. So here I'm in the cheating stage.
Yes,
I have brought it all diced up a little bit.
Yes, you are.
But it looks, look at the color in that.
It's beautiful,
it
but
does.
you're still cheating.
I cheated
You're
a little
supposed
bit.
to dice.
I've been there.
Oh,
I've
come
been
on.
there. Now that you just reminded me, we going to dicing, we going to slicing.
Oh, no,
I told you that I saved some of this work for you. So again, we got the plantains. Yes.
Plátanos.
Plantanos.
Plátanos.
Plantanos.
Plátanos.
Plantanos.
Better.
Did I say all the ingredients?
Plátanos.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Plátanos.
Okay. Plantanos. So here we go. Now I did some already myself. I chopped up some myself.
And you did a great job. That's
Slice
awesome.
up some.
Awesome.
And so that but we definitely want our guests to have some work in here, some involved work too. So now I took and cut off the ends, and I took the knife down, down some way, down it, so that I could peel it like this. Now I'm slicing it. I'm gonna slice it in half, so it's in two parts. See, it's in two parts. Now I'm going to take now you are going to, if you don't mind, you're going to this is the way that.
That's how you did it?
Yes, this is how I did it now. And please,
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Don't cut your hand off. We're trying to show us the rest of us novice.
You know how many plátanos I've cut in my life?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Zillions. Okay, good. So now I just sliced this just like this. See how I sliced it? Folks? Now.
And then you'll watch an expert.
Oh, yes. There you go. See that now? See, I ain't even have it in my hand. And you're doing it easier than I was doing it. But I appreciate it. I surely appreciate it.
Voila.
Voila. Thank
I know,
you.
I speak a little French.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay, so now, again, we already have some platanos,
Platanos.
platanos,
Plátanos. Perfect.
plantanos.
Perfect.
Okay, so we
Okay,
have that. Oh, we need some onions up in here
always have to have the onions.
because we have to have the onions. So we throw some onions up in there. Oh, and it's like I talk about the way it smells. It smells fantastic.
Yes.
And this is okay. So we
Smell is important.
It smell is important
Because that's part of your taste.
Now I was supposed to put the cloves in it, the garlic cloves, but again we're going back to my little cheating section, and I'm going to spoon some garlic.
Well, I'm not sure I'm too happy about you.
Oh my goodness! Please, 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 please,
You
please.
should have smashed the garlic and then threw it in there.
I'm trying to keep these lessons in the 30-second range. Now, I already know that I need some oregano, some dried oregano goes in there.
Delicioso.
That goes in there.
Nice.
And cumin?
Comino.
Comino. Some comino goes
Cumin is
in there.
English. Comino.
Yes. Comino goes in there. Now, watch this, folks. Watch this. I was excited watching it do its thing. Suck that down in there. Go ahead. Yes! Do it like I'm gonna do it like this. Yes! This is amazing. It's going good. It's going good. All right. Now I don't know what it's called. It didn't say there was a special name. Once it gets to this status, all I know is I brought a special dish. Oh, it's not going to, it doesn't go into there yet, because all we're going to do first right now, folks, is we're going to, I did that already. So I shouldn't have did that again. So, okay, I got a bowl, because I have some already here. We're going to add this. I don't want to put my back to you guys, but I didn't want you to see me. So we're going to take this. Oh, yes, this is, I think this is what, yes, it is fresh.
And you know what, here's the interesting thing about herbs and things that you use, is that when it's fresh, it tastes different.
Tastes different?
Very different.
Tastes very different.
And the texture will end up being different as well.
I'm smelling it, and it is smelling incredible. It's smelling incredible.
Amazing. I love onions.
Okay. So I didn't turn the fire back on. Okay, folks. So now we have this mixture with the cilantro. We have spinach and we have parsley in here. That's what we have mixed in here. Now this is a major part of the dish. So we cool there.
That's the flavor.
Now, yes, so I'm going to put this back here. Now, let's talk about voting. Okay. Let's talk about voting, because again, with the life lessons, the part of this whole program, I think voting is super important.
Yes.
And we are this close to voting for the president. Again, we're going to keep it, so we're not going to say, because this is going to come around, because this is a life lessons that's going to come around again. And voting, and I talked about, I mentioned about how local voting is so important. But how about this one? Millennials represent more than 25% of the age eligible electorate in the United States.
And that's absolutely amazing. If they actually exercise their power, they can really turn this country around.
And they're more. I think they're more open-minded than old folks. You know,
Probably.
because of the fact that I'm sorry, guys, about stepping out of your vision, but I'm doing 10 things at once. Okay.
That's very interesting.
Okay. Yes, I'm doing.
Men
10
don't
things.
usually do that.
I'm still a man.
Ooh.
I am all man. So anyway, so now, as I was saying, millennials represent 25% of the voting electric. That's if they're registered.
Absolutely. They have to be
That-
registered, and they have to actually get up and vote.
To
Because
go out
if they
there.
don't get up and vote, there's not going to be a difference. But most importantly as well is being educated. Understanding what their vote means and understanding what's happening around the nation.
Now, tell them, because I've been voting since I was 18 years old. Tell those folks, please, how important it is to vote.
The truth is that voting will impact your life one way or another. If you decide not to vote, you're basically voting for the opposition. And I say that very clearly. If you want something to be done, if you want something to happen in a certain way, and you decide, I'm not going to vote because I do not understand this person's platform, what you're deciding is to vote for who is against what you believe. Because you've now taken your vote out of
Contention.
yes.
You're taking your vote out of contention. If you don't vote, you've taken your vote out of contention.
And hence, you're voting for the opposition, the
Now-
opposite party that you wanted to win.
Now, as we're talking about voting, now the next move we're going to take, we put this pan on, we put a little, I don't know if I was supposed to put oil in it, but as you see, now I'm dropping some of them.
That's called sofrito.
Sofrito is what this is called?
Sofrito, yes.
I'm
When
dro-
you fry
Uh-huh.
before you actually use, it's sofrito.
Sofrito, that's what I'm doing. I put the sofrito into the pan.
You can use it fresh, or you can have it fried before you use it. When you fry it before, it's called sofrito.
Okay, so now what we did, we put it into the pan. I'm going to put this back here. So now we got it going on. We got it popping. Now,
Would you like me to want mine?
no. We're
It's
not.
important.
We're not there yet. We're not there
Okay,
yet.
all right.
Because actually, I think we wanted to warm up a little bit, get heated up a little bit. Then we're going to throw the ground beef
Okay.
on it. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna still move it around a little bit.
Okay. So I'm going to set the ground beef right there because we're not ready for it yet.
No, you're not ready for it. It's not sofrito yet.
Not so frito yet. Okay, so we have our plantains. Plantanos. We have that. Platanos. We have that diced up. And because we gotta move. We got something going on with that too. So now where we're at is again when we mentioned about. I'll wait for our elected official to come
All
back.
right,
Thank
thank
you. Again, I took some notes on this stuff, and my notes is right here. You can get paid for your time to go. Your time to go vote. In some states, I guess, where like say you got to be to work at 9 o'clock. Well, no, let's say 8 o'clock, and the polls open at what time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
6 o'clock, sorry.
6 o'clock.
Depends on where you are.
Okay, and so you tell your boss, I'm going to go vote, and you let them know ahead of time, and actually just find out whether you can get paid for that time, so you're not docked for the time to go vote.
Well, very honestly, I'm going to go an extra step.
Mm-hmm.
This is a civic responsibility.
It is a civic responsibility.
This decision will impact you for years to come.
It does.
So whether you're getting paid should not matter. You shouldn't have to get paid for your vote.
I know, but some people do. You know that paid is an incentive.
You should not have to
Paid
get paid for the
is
vote.
an incentive.
Because at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
it's going to decide how much money you get in the end.
Like we're thinking about, we're talking about. I didn't want this to be timed, but this Supreme Justice Ruth Ginsburg. What was it? Ruth Bader Ginsburg just passed away. Now you're going to know what time we're talking about. But it was because of her making the decision. Her dissent about equal pay, and then it going and her saying something to the Congress, and Congress creating a bill, a law that President Obama signed, so that equal pay, not paying a woman equal pay as a man in the same position doing the same work would be illegal.
We live in a society in which we have 3 branches of government: judicial, executive, and legislative. She was judicial.
Yes.
She made sure the law was followed.
Yes.
And what we need to understand is, with her passing, her views are now gone. Her interpretation of the law as it stands is now gone. So what will happen now? Now you give the president the power to decide who steps in. And the legislature, which is Senate and Congress, mostly Senate, the ability to endorse or not endorse. So basically all of the power lies in the president, and as far as deciding who the Supreme Court justice will be.
Some people might think that all you're talking about is over their head.
Yes, it is.
And so they think that they think, let's leave that in the hands of somebody else. That's why I'm not going to go vote, because somebody else is going to be handling that. Shouldn't they be thinking about these issues?
Absolutely, because all of those issues, all of those decisions that are made at the Supreme Court are going to impact every single person in the United States, because the Supreme Court interprets the law.
Now, thank you for that knowledge, our official. Now, it's not crispy.
Not yet.
But I can put my ground beef in there.
You can. It's just going to have a slightly different flavor, but I think it might be good.
Okay, so there we go. I'm going to put this ground beef in here.
Shred it before you
I'm going to bounce it up. I just want the folks to see me putting it into the pan.
So shred it.
Yes. Now while I'm here, I'm shredding.
Okay.
And please, I want you to
I'll help you out.
Okay, but I want you to talk about how about this one?
Go ahead, tell me.
40% of the millennials identify as non-white, making them the most diverse voting generation in history.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful because it means more people are going to be represented in the voting.
More diverse.
They vote.
If they vote.
But they have to vote?
She is hammering on the fact of how important voting is. Registering to vote. And now that reminds me of another fact that that I read about. In some states, it's different in other states.
Yes,
what time or what allotted time you have to register. Some states will allow you to register to vote on the same day of the voting, but some states won't. That is another important. So if you think you're going to just lay it around and then you go to the polls, because it doesn't work like you just show up at the polls and say, I'm voting.
The more educated our electorate is, the better that our outcomes will be. And making sure that our youth, millennials, understand what voting is and how it works is critical.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't want to not put the adobo.
Oh, no, you cannot mess up with the adobo.
That's gotta
That's
go.
critical. That's important.
Gotta go.
That's probably your most important ingredient in anything that's done.
Now, and the sazon and the salt, I measured them out and put them in the same dish, but that still goes into the ground beef.
This is also really important.
The ground beef and what was that?
Sofrito?
Sofrito, and it goes into sofrito. Now, again, that's over here doing its thing. We're still a couple of minutes off from getting to where we want to be at with that. So I think I need to turn this fire.
Everything smells amazing.
It smells what?
It smells amazing. I'm impressed.
Hold up, wait a minute. I have my son in here. We did some burrito stuffed chicken roll-ups, and he said the same thing. But my thing is talking about how good it smells as you're preparing it before you even get to the I'm done part. So you made me smile. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Well, smell is an important part of taste.
Oh yes, and smell is a great thing about this whole cooking lesson. And again, remember, and folks, again, let's go back to the fact that this is the first time that I'm doing this dish, so you guys are doing it with me too. She is doing it. We're doing it all together. And I'm not a professional chef. I am a novice. I want to cook great meals because I like cooking. And when if you cook great meals, to me, if you're cooking, I'm calling them great, but if you're cooking something and you're doing something that you enjoy, you get better at it. That's why it's called Cook Lessons. It's cooking lessons, but we're talking about things that are important in life.
Yeah.
So that's why we call it Into Life Lessons.
The other thing about cooking that people may not realize is that it's really an art. So every single slice, every leaf that you put in, every single one of them is going to look a little different. It's going to carry a little different flavor to them. So it really is more of an art than a science.
Yes.
And so when we put it together, and we're done, it's our masterpiece.
It is.
And one thing about food, more than anything else, is it brings people together.
It does. It does. I'm telling you, I am super excited because it smells super good.
Yes,
it does smell good. It smells good. And I'm helping to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yep.
And we're talking
La
about...
herencia de la hispanidad.
See? And we're talking about something, a life lessons that's super important, and it's important for the young millennials. It's important for our children that are coming up to teach them about government.
Having to follow whatever they say.
Yes, because they're making laws.
Yes, they do.
They're making laws. They are the ones, and you know, speed limits is a law. Speed limit is a law. Maybe should I put a lid on top of that?
Nah, I think it's fine.
Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to turn the fire on because these have to be fried too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are going to be fried. So I'm going to turn the grease on under these.
Make sure it's hot.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a chance to heat up.
Make sure it's hot.
We're gonna give it a chance to heat up,
and the reason we need to make sure it's always hot is because that way it doesn't absorb as much oil.
Oh, okay.
Right. It'll fry before it absorbs too much oil.
Right. Let's talk about the federal legislation in the United States that prohibits racial discrimination in voting. It was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson during the height of the civil rights movement. And that act was called the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Can you believe that up till 1965 in this country, everybody didn't have the right to vote? Hispanics didn't have the right to vote. Blacks didn't have the right to vote. Were women allowed to vote yet?
Yes, they were.
The women, but only white women.
And only within maybe a couple decades.
Only within a couple of decades. So, okay, so we're doing good right now because we're talking about the importance of voting. We have our, what is it called now? What's the Spanish name for it?
Sofrito?
Sofrito, because it's frying. That's doing its thing. And we have the fire under the pan, under the oil for the pantalones. So we're going to take a break, but we're going to throw some of these on so that they can start frying.
And then when we come back, are we going to talk about systemic racism instead?
We can talk about whatever you
think
want
we
to talk
should.
about. Then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So folks, give us a second. When we come back, these will be fried up. The sofrito will be
La carne molida.
all of that, because I did not say that I was Espanol, great speaker in Espanol. I know muy mal, and we'll be ready to move forward. So let's take a break. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. We'll be right back, folks. We're back. We have been frying up our plantains. We've been frying them up. We're going to put some more on here. Oh, one more thing before. We've been frying this up, cooking this up, and we poured the Spanish olives into it. It's Spanish olives, pitted.
Con pimientos.
See, pitted. We poured that in there. Now we have to pour in the tomato sauce. Now I'm going to put this back on here for another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes. That looks fantastic.
So I will tell you one thing about los plátanos maduros,
Okay.
which you are cooking.
Mm-hmm.
There are many cultures that will call them just plátanos maduros or maduros, and then there's others that call it amarillos. I grew up calling them amarillos.
Mm-hmm.
And those are slight differences that we have in different Hispanic cultures.
Mm-hmm. 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 So we're going to put these on the tray, let them drain, and we're going to throw some more into the pot, into the fryer, let them fry, and we're going to go into some of these final steps.
Wonderful.
Okay, so in fact, I'm just going to set this over to the side here. Now I turned the fire off on that, and I'm gonna stir. Again, what are we calling this?
Well, it's no longer called that because you put the meat in.
Right. And so what is it called now?
Well, whatever meat.
Oh, okay. All right. So
The sofrito is just when you're pre-frying.
Okay.
When you're pre-frying.
Okay.
So that's it.
And we have our mozzarella here. Oh! I know what I need to do. Because we're going to pour the egg into this. So, in fact, I'll do it like this.
Okay.
Try not to get any shells up in there. So I put a few eggs in there, And now we're going to put some adobo into the eggs. And we're going to mix this up. But this goes to the side for right now.
Now you're using the eggs to kind of pull everything together.
Right.
It's not really meant for flavor and taste, right? Just to kind of solidify everything.
Okay, that's what we're doing there?
Usually when I'm making my recipes, that's what I do.
Okay.
And
Now
I'm going to beat it a little bit more for you.
Okay. So now another thing that again we're talking about the voting and voting rights and all that kind of stuff, and how voting affects your community, and of course the laws that are made in the United States. So now, here we go. This is how we're going to start this off. This starts right here. We got this bowl because we got everything. Everything is prepared. Everything we're ready.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to take the Plantains. I'm trying not to mess this up. And we're
it's
going
okay. It
to,
doesn't matter. The taste is what matters.
yes, and we're going to line the bottom of this baking dish with these pieces.
Try the word amarillos.
What?
Amarillos.
Amarillos.
That sounds better.
Hey, amarillos.
Okay, maybe you want to stick with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one. Okay, so now we're of course we're lining the pan, the dish. I'm gonna line them just like that. See, folks, we got that together, and and then we're going. Here we go. Oh my goodness!
That looks amazing.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. I'm gonna turn the fire off.
Oh my heavens.
I'm turning the fire off. I'm turning.
Food is so important. Did you realize that?
Yes. I'm a shrewd. Yes, I realize. Here we go,
I know. I'm
folks.
speaking to the choir.
Yeah, you're speaking to the choir. Now, here we go. Here we go. This is how we're supposed to do this.
Like a lasagna.
Yes, and I got that sense when I was putting it together. I mean, when I was looking. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Una lasaña de carne molida y
See,
amarillos.
see. Now, don't tell me again. Tell them, because I can hear you. Can they hear you? Now, look. Okay. Now you're doing a great job too. Now, look, folks. See how I layered that? We're layering this. We're layering this.
Layers just like a lasagna.
Yes, it does. Now we come in with the mozzarella. We're coming in with the mozzarella. Look at this. Look at this. It smells. It smells like I'm in the bodega.
I know. My stomach is just waiting.
Yes.
And my taste buds can't. They're struggling to wait.
Yes. Now we're not finished yet, folks, because we still have to put another layer. I just want
Where are you gonna put the eggs?
The eggs come on before we stick it into the oven.
Okay.
And in fact, while we're talking, I'm going to set the oven at 350 because it's going to go into oven for 25 minutes at 350. Now we do another layer.
Qué bello. Qué rico.
See, I know. See, huh? See, no evil, do no evil.
Qué rico.
Qué rico.
Doesn't sound the same when you say it.
It says what?
It does not sound the same when you say it.
It don't sound the same. Oh my goodness, because I'm from downtown.
Now that sounded actually pretty good.
OMG. That is my favorite tune. You know what? I'm going to...
Tunes. Why didn't we have tunes?
Tunes?
Tunes, music.
Why we don't have no music? Because we don't want nobody saying, oh, that's my song. They do have music that's not copyrighted. But
Yes,
for
that's true.
right now, we're just doing this like this. We're going to come back. You see I layered this. You see, folks, you see I layered that. I did the pantalones, and then I did the ground beef, and she knows. She knows. She knows. Now I'm going to come with another layer.
That's nice.
It smells fantastic. It smells fantastic.
See, when you use fresh ingredients, it
Yes.
really makes a difference.
And another thing I talk about the fact that it doesn't cost $1 million
No,
to
it doesn't.
home cook.
Mhm.
And because I did
It's
do.
less expensive, actually.
Hmm?
It's less expensive, and a lot of the things that you have right there,
Mm-hmm.
I know in my house I grow,
Mm-hmm.
so it really doesn't cost me anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're a farmer too.
No, I'm not a
Oh,
farmer.
you wanted to talk about systemic racism.
Yes, I did.
You wanted to bring that up.
Yes, I did.
Please.
So one of the things that we need to be conscious of is the fact that racism isn't just blatant. Sometimes it's very quiet, and people don't realize.
Bring that up so the people can hear you, please, if you don't mind.
So, for example, when it comes to voting, anything that's ever done to discourage a person from exercising their civic responsibility is a part of systemic racism. Because the people who go into these elected offices represent you. They represent what you believe. So if you don't vote in individuals who understand your needs and what it is that will make your life better, then what you're going to end up is a situation which we have of systemic racism. Voting is the way that you change that.
You heard that. You make change by voting, not staying home saying that my vote doesn't count.
Yes.
Oh, now that just reminded me of another fact that I came across, and that fact was I'm gonna find it right here.
What is systemic racism?
No, about the voting, how your vote counts, because some states in some states votes were won by 2 votes. I can't see it there, but or 1 vote. Now, folks, you see how I layered this up like this, right? I see how I layered it up like this. Now, I preheated the oven. It's at 350. And now this is where the eggs come in. The eggs are poured into this like this.
That's interesting. I usually mix it in my meat.
But this is
No, I get it. We'll see how it turns out.
we're gonna see how it turns out.
Because I know I usually mix it in my meat.
And remember, I said that when I do this, I do it.
To learn.
This is the first time that I'm
Yes,
doing
you're
it.
learning.
Yes, and again, this is the way that the recipe came.
And you know
my way.
what? That's the beauty of cooking. It's you can try something, you follow the recipe exactly, and then you look at it, and whatever your end product is, whatever you're not happy with, you can always tweak it
Oh
the
yeah.
next time
Well,
around.
folks, you see, I layered it with the pantalones and the ground beef mixture with
Amarillos, remember you're better at that one.
amarillos.
You keep calling them pants.
Oh, pantalones. Yes.
Pantalones or pants?
Oh yeah. I know what you mean when you're saying that like that. Yes, I'm not. They're not pants. They is pantalones. So okay. Yeah. So now I always try to put something in there in case it bubbled over. But I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think it's going to bubble over. It's not going to be in there that long.
No, it's gonna be good.
It's not going to be over.
Eggs don't take that long to cook.
Now, I just want to make sure that I'm not supposed to put another layer of the mozzarella over there, over top of the.
It doesn't have another layer?
I know that
Do you
when
think
I
it might taste good with another layer?
no when I pull this out,
Right.
let this be go in there for 20 minutes, 25
What
minutes.
if it tastes better with it?
But I'm going to layer it with the
Well,
mozzarella.
we can always invent.
Not now. Not now. I'm trying to.
It's an art.
I got to put it on broil after I do that. I just want to make sure that this it goes like this. Oh, I got to put now. See, I knew it covered up with something. Excuse me.
Okay.
It covers up with the aluminum foil.
All right.
Aluminum foil. I'm gonna put. See, so I don't put the mozzarella over there yet, but I am gonna put another layer of mozzarella on there. But I have to. It goes like this first.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Into the oven. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. All right. Oh, good. Good. This is what I'm going to use.
No, don't get rid of those amarillos.
I'm not going to get rid of them then. I'm going to put them
Thank you.
here.
Thank you.
What I don't, what I want to make,
amarillos.
I want to make sure that I put if it start bubbling up, I want to make sure that it's in a pan. So that's what I want. That's what I wanted this pan for. Now, folks, we're in the oven. We're in the oven for 25 minutes at 350 for 25 minutes. So we're going to take another break. And we coming right back at you. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with our local politician, Cumin Rodriguez. Now, I'm putting this here because we had to put the aluminum foil on it. Now it has to go back in the oven. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Now, that's because that is cooked.
My heavens,
Yes.
that is beautiful.
Now we have to put this back in the oven. We have to put this back in.
Mozzarella?
Yes, we got to put mozzarella on top of it, and then put it back into the oven. So on broil for 5 minutes. So that's why I pulled this out. The aluminum foil goes to the side. Now, then our dish will be completed.
It smells amazing.
It does. It does. It does. It smells fantastic. And yes, we can tell that's right because that's solid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need more cheese, please.
Oh.
More cheese, please.
More cheese. You can never have too much cheese.
No, you can't have too much cheese. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Put that in there like that. I'm going to put more cheese because I want cheese to be all over it. And now again, we're going to put this back in the oven on broil for 5 more minutes. So I'm doing this like this, and then I'm going to duff back off. Just give me a second. We're going to duff back off. In fact, we'll talk about something for the 5 minutes, or just for some time. Voila, and now we're going to stick this. I'm going to stick it back in the oven, and then I'm going to put the oven on broil. I better hurry up for the smoke detector to go off. It does. It'll just say fire. All right. So let's put this on. Let's take that off. Let's stop. Put that on broil. Alexa, start the timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. Okay. Our elected official, she wanted to make sure she talked about systemic racism and how that chases people away from the voter polls and things like that. So please explain to our audience.
Well, very honestly, you probably know more about systemic racism than even I do.
Please.
The reality is that the vast majority of the racism that we experience in daily life doesn't come from people who actually want to kick us and push us down. It comes from people who just have grown up in a society that teaches them that certain values are better and certain values are not, which is not true. So what ends up happening is that they look at you and they look at me, and what they start to think is just negative thoughts. And what ends up happening is we put up barriers that keep people from voting. So
You're talking about us as people, the individual who are
as
feeling
individuals who are minorities.
who are feeling the effects of the systemic racism.
Exactly. So what has happened is basically we have not learned what the importance is of our government and its structure. And because we do not know the importance of our government and its structure and how important our vote is in that process, we don't vote because we're scared to do something that may end up hurting us in the long run. So because we don't vote, we don't express our wishes. And it's intentional.
And so we're hurting ourselves by not being driven to go to the polls, driven to make our vote count. Gee, look.
Oh my God, looks delicious.
That is fabulous. Oh my goodness.
That looks so
That
delicious.
is fabulous. Only, oh my God, it's still boiling, so we can't eat it right now. We're gonna wait a second. But that looks.
That looks good.
It looks delicious. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And you guys know I love cutting into my dish. So we're going to push that to the side. But we have important stuff to make sure that you understand. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Pastelon.
Yes.
Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
And the beautiful thing about Hispanic Heritage Month is that you are actually celebrating many cultures.
Please come over this way, and so that they can see, the folks can see.
You're
There you go.
celebrating many cultures.
There you go.
So while I'm Puerto Rican,
Oh, you are?
yes,
Never noticed.
and this is the Dominican dish, it's still something that is beautiful.
Please don't burn your hands. Okay, go ahead.
It's a beautiful dish, a beautiful Hispanic dish that's delicious and actually captures all of what we are. The sweetness, the taste, the melty cheese.
Oh my goodness.
It's so fabulous.
If you guys could have some nostrils going on here, you would be like that.
So being that, it's all about unity. It's all about bringing everybody together.
True.
When we cook in Hispanic culture, typically this is the most important piece of everything that we do. Food, music, it brings us all together. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you do on a daily basis. You all come together around this. And it's a lovely thing. And just like the United States is a melting pot.
It is a melting pot.
We all need to come together.
We do.
And make sure that what we need, our wishes, our desires are expressed in what happens in our society. And of course, that's based on how people vote.
Vote, vote, vote. I can't say no more besides vote, vote, vote.
And it's important that people understand who they're voting for and why. Don't just vote for one issue. Look at the totality of the person. Look at what they do for you. Look at your society that you exist in. That is the person that you have. And again, every politician, remember, every politician is a human being. They can make mistakes. They can change your mind. So make sure that they understand your views, and not just your views, but why you view things the way you do. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, I know what you're
Indeed,
saying.
indeed it
I
is.
know
I think
what
I'll
you're
enjoy that.
saying. I know
And
what you're
one-
saying.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch on one subject.
Please.
And that's systemic racism.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Systemic racism, for most of you who don't understand it, it's how we, as a society, keep our minorities, our poor communities from expressing their wishes and their desires. Because what we do is we keep them from understanding what politics do from them. So it's important that these individuals, that they learn also what it means, what it is that their local mayor or council person or committeeman or assembly or senator, what it is that they do for them. Because at the end of the day, these are the people who make a decision on what you can do with your life and what you cannot. We talk about freedom in America, but the reality is it is impacted by the decisions of human beings who sit in these political offices. Again, they're human beings. So talk to them. Tell them how you feel. Explain to them what your reality is. Because they need to know. They're making the decisions that are going to affect you for years and decades and even centuries. So make sure that you make a good choice, but more importantly, make sure that you know. And oh my God, this is amazing!
I tell you how I love the food when the steam is rising off of it. This, again, the smell will knock you down because it smells so delicious.
And the beauty of it is, it doesn't matter what country you come from. You can always enjoy it.
Enjoy. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Voting. Vote for your rights.
Make sure you're heard. Oh, wow. This is really good.
Delicious. Folks, catch you the next time. Subscribe. Reggie Ging's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Thank you, folks. Thank you for being with us. Talk to you next time.